So make sure that everyone should so make sure that everyone should go to your iTallim, and then under the assessment part we have assignment 2. So please open the assignment 2. Okay, so basically your assignment 2 is given in the first heading. The second heading is your data. You need this data to do your assignment. So assignment 2 here is the instruction for your assignment. So when you click on it, you will see these words. Okay, so this assignment worth 5 marks like a normal assignment. So each of the instruction will give you 1 mark. Okay, so you are given like 1 week to complete your assignment. Okay, and this is your data, and this is the lab. Lab 1 means that this is the data that we will do for our workshop. Okay, now I have tell everyone to download your stata software because I would love to use stata. Okay, let me see here. Okay, where is it? Okay, so when you download the lab 1 data, so you will see something like this. Okay, so this is just a funny data. Okay, so you will see a few color, red, blue, green, yellow, white, and purple with whatever number in it. Okay, so this is just our exercises. Okay, don't worry about this data. I purposely made it by myself. Okay, so once you have download your stata software, so you will see something like this. Okay, I hope that you can see my cursor. I'm pointing on icon. Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so when you click on it, it will appear something like this. Okay. Okay. So you will see something like this. This is your stata software. Okay. Now, in stata, we have one thing that is not available for eViews or SPSS. So some of you are very familiar with SPSS. Some of you may be familiar with eViews. But the advantage of stata is that you will have what we call a do file. So a do file is like a notes for you. So you can write all the notes in your do file and you can just use that for the future purposes. Okay. So let me see. Where is it? Okay. Okay. So this is my do file. So I have created it, but I will let you know how to create the do file. So once you have created the do file, you can just drag in the do file into your stata software. So if you look at here, I click on this do file and I just drag in and it will just open by itself. Okay, it's like a magic, not really a magic. So it's something okay. So as I told you previously, do file is like a notes for you. So you can write anything. Okay. So if you want to write a notes, you have to put star on it. Okay. So this is my do file. I can create a new one so that you can see the original do file. Okay. So your do file is here. So you can see here a new do file editor. So if you click on this, you are creating, where is it? So you are creating your do file. So if I click on this, so you can see a blank notes on your do file. Okay. So if, as I told you, if you want to create your do file or your notes, you have to put star on it. Okay. So since now you have downloaded your stata, so please create your do file. So normally during the workshop, the face-to-face workshop, I will ask my students to do the do file together with me. Okay, make sure that you are doing it. Okay, so you have to put star on it and then give a title for your do file or for your notes. What is the title? Introduction to stata. So you can write today's date. What is it? 22nd 4th 2021. So this is the titles of your do file. Remember, as I told you, for the do file, you have to write star on it, or else the do file will consider the one that has no star as your command. So what is command? Command means your instruction to run any method, any regressions or whatever. So that is command. So you have to write star so that the do file will recognize the star as your nodes. Okay, so you can click the space, or maybe you can enter another space. It's up to you. It's how you want to arrange your nodes. Okay, so this is how you want to create your do file. So let me see my do file. Okay, okay. So the first instruction, so it's better for you to type it. Okay, can you can you see my do file? Perhaps I should make it larger. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Mosa is there. I didn't allow them to join in. I didn't notice that they are here. Okay. So let me see. Let me check my
Assalamualaikum, madam.
yeah.
I can use the phone in during class because I know I come by my home.
So you are saying that you cannot use your phone, or you can use your phone?
I can now I can use a phone, cannot use a computer.
You cannot use your phone.
No, my phone now I can use, but
Oh,
I
oh,
can.
okay. Okay, so you are using your phone, so that's why you cannot do your do file. Basically, you cannot. Okay, that's fine because this class is recorded. So make sure that when you have arrived home, please do it yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I didn't notice that both of you asked me to join the class because I was like talking while doing the do file, so I didn't notice your message. But right now, I believe that both of you have entered the class. Okay. Okay. So don't worry, this session is recorded, so you can uh, re-watch the recorded session. Okay, so as I mentioned to you, where is my stata? Okay, let me put it here. Okay, so make sure that you write your notes in your do file, because this note will tell you how to do it. If you didn't write the notes in your do file, you will never know how to do it. This is a new lesson, so write it. Okay, so I put a star at the beginnings of my sentence because I want to tell the do file that this is my notes, so don't run anything on it. So I click star, create a do file. So what is the instruction? So you have to click on new do file editor, which is here. Okay, when you click on it, you will create your do file. Okay, so next, if you next point or next notes, if you need help. Okay, normally when people need help, they wanted to know about the command. Okay, so you just type help in your command. So this is your command. Okay, the bottom one, they will write the command. Okay, so you can type help. Okay, so help will be there for you to show whatever you need something. Okay, these are some of the notes that the stata will tell you. But you can also click the help here, which is on the tops of your software. Okay, when you click on this, so you can see whatever types of help you are asking for. Okay, so you can explore all these things. Okay, so but for your assignment, you don't really need this help button because I will tell you all the instructions, all the command in this do file. Okay, but this is for later purposes, later use. If you need to know what kind of commands that you want to use, so click help. Okay, or types help. Okay, so if you want to import your data, okay, so currently, if you look at your iTatlim, I give you in your data in the Excel form. So sometimes the secondary data are available in the Excel form or whatever form. But how do you want to import your data into your Stata software? So basically, you just copy and paste. Okay. So let me write it here. Let me do it here. So I highlighted everything. Oh, what happened? Okay. So I highlighted everything and I click the right button and then just copy. You can see that it is copied right now. And where is my data? Let me see. Okay, so currently, if you look at this one, data editor or browse, okay, when I click on it, basically you cannot see anything. Means that this stata software has empty data. Okay, but if you want to import your data, you shouldn't click data editor browse because when you browse, basically you just want to see the whole data. You didn't want to edit anything. So what you have to do, you have to click next to it, the left side. You can see data editor, edit. Okay, click on that. Okay, so if you look at my notes in the do file, so I click the instruction, data editor edits, and I just copy and paste my data and save it. Okay, so these are the instruction to import your data. So let's do it. Okay, so click on this data editor edit, which has a pencil on it. Okay, so the first pencil is the do file. The second pencil is your data sheet. Okay, so click on it, and then I have copied from my Excel. So what should I do? Just paste. Okay, so you will see this what do you call this box. So everyone is at the same page as me, except Halima. Everyone is doing the same thing. Or you are just watching it without doing it at your own self. Everyone, Mosa and Adi Aziz, do you do it together with me?
Yeah, we are watching. We
Okay,
we do it later, no problem. We listen.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there is a pop-up box, and then they said that the first row on the clipboards contain values that can be used as a valid variable names. So if you look at here in our lab, so the top one is the label, isn't it? The variable name. Okay. So do you want to treat the first row as variable name or data? So definitely it is our variable names. So you should click variable names. So now you can see the top one is the variable names and later on you can see the data. Okay. So the next step, I said save it. Okay, so you have to click the save button. Okay, so basically I have actually saved this file, so I don't want to save twice. So for your case, you have to save it so that you will have a file for these exercises. Okay, so I will just delete it. Okay, so let me see the save one, the save file. Okay, um, okay, later on, okay, there are two ways to open your file. You can click when you save it, they will create one file for you. Okay, this is the file. So I just rename it as one. You can rename as whatever. Okay, it's up to you. So you can just click on it and it will open your software, your stata software, or you can um, drag this data into your software. So both are okay. So in this case, I have opened the stata software. So let me just drag it. Okay. Mm, mm. So, okay, maybe here. Ah, why? Ah, data in memory have changed. Do you want to continue lose unsafe? Mm, unsafe data I didn't want to save. And lose unsafe. Yes. Okay. Because previously I have saved a new one. Okay, let me see. Okay. So if you got confused, let me just click delete this. Don't save. Okay. So when you have saved just now, just click on it. So the stata will appear. So this is not an empty stata. This is not an empty software because if you look at the browse or data editor, you can see your data that you have saved. Okay, so this is your data. So let me see, where is my do file? Okay, so let's drag the do file. Okay, the next notes. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so I'm assuming that when everyone keeps silent, so I can just proceed. Means that everyone has understood it. So you want to rename the variable. Okay, so currently we have red, blue, green, or whatsoever. So later on, when you are dealing with many data, a lot of data, you may want to rename or recreate a variable. Okay, so in this case, let's look at the example. You want to rename blue into black. So currently you have red, blue, and so on. So you want to rename blue into black. Or perhaps later on you have dealing with price index or whatsoever, you want to rename into a new names. So how to do it? So okay, you can see that I put star on it, the first one. So this is my notes. And this one, basic, okay, you can, I have to enlarge it so that you can see it clearly. Okay. So you can see two color here. The first one is green. Green is actually my notes. The blue one, you can see here the blue. So the blue one is the command. So when you click on it, it will tell the stata to do something, to perform something. Okay? So in this case, you want to rename your variable. So what should you do? The command is rename. So you want to rename the blue. Originally, you have the variables of blue. You want to change blue into black. So you can type here. Remember, your command is at the bottom. Okay? So what should you write? Rename from blue. Your current variable is blue, and you want to change it into black. Okay. You can just type it. So it's up to you. Or if let's say you are lazy. Okay? So you can write it, you can type rename. And where is your blue? You can click on here. Can you see my cursor? Okay. So I bring my cursor to this. Okay, so this is your variable names. Okay, and at the bottom on your right side is the details of the variable. So I will just click here blue. So it will automatically go into here, and then the black is not here, so I will just click black. Okay, is it K? No, black. So when I click enter, so you will see that the blue variable has changed into black. Okay, so whatever command that you are doing, it will somehow appear in the left side. They will tell you what you are doing. The first one, you are running your save data. You are opening your save data. This is the first command. Second command, you are opening your do file. The third command, you ask the stata to rename the variables of blue into black. So you can see here from after red, you have black variable, not blue. Okay. So next, you want to generate new variables. Okay, so here blue instead of black. So right now you don't have blue, right? So let's change it again. So we'll just, if you click on this part, okay, if you can see my cursor, I click on this one. So it will appear in my command button, my command box. So let me change, rename black into blue, so that we will use the blue variable. Okay, now you can see that the black variable turned into blue. Okay, so let's generate the new variable. Okay, so this is my do file. Okay, so generate, the command is G. Very simple. Stata use a very simple command word. Okay, a shortcut word. So let me write G to represent generate. So you want to what? You want to generate, you want to create blue, new blue. So let me write blue square. So this is the names of your new variable. Previously you have blue. Now you want to create blue square. Equals to, so equals means what is the function, what is the instruction that you want to perform. So in this case, so where is our blue? So this is the data for our blue, right? So you have 0.42 whatever until 0.99. So if let's say you want to put squared into this variable, okay, so you rename it as blues2 equals to blue, and then put this one squared. Okay, so enter. So you have created blue square. Okay, so this is your command, the instruction that you have performed. So if you click on this data editor, you can see that you have created blue squared into your Excel file, into your file, stata file. Okay, so basically it has performed for all variable. Okay, next, you want to generate log for blue. Okay, sometimes when you are dealing with the data for economic growth, so you are dealing with log variable, log number. So what should we do? The same thing. So you have to click generate G, and then you can just rename whatever log, or you can just like write L blue. It's up to you, but normally it's better to write something that you can simply identify it. So put log blue. So equals means that this is your instruction. Okay, you can see here there is a different blue color in my do file. So write log and then put into bracket blue and then enter. Okay, so you have created, if you look at on the right side, top on the right side, you have a new variable, and on the left side it tell you or tell us that you have performed this command. If you click on this one, you have a new log blue variable. Okay, so you can also do for something else. Okay, whatever, squared or minus something or plus whatever. Okay, so this is how you want to generate your variable. So far so good, right? Okay, next. Summarize. Okay, sometimes in statistics or in econometric, in economics, you want to summarize your data. Okay, so um, let me see. So this is your data. So this is just 19 data. But normally when you are taking secondary data, you are dealing with thousands of data. So how to summarize your data, right? So what you should do is you click sum or whatever the variable that you want to summarize. In this case, I just want to summarize this red variable. Okay, so sum is the command for summarize. Okay, so for your information, you can also, if let's say you have created your do file like I did, you can just run or perform the command from the do file. Okay, so normally many of my students have created the do file, but they forgot that the do file has the power to generate to run the equation. So many of them like copy and paste from their do file and then put in the command box and run it. You don't have to. If you have created your do file, what you can do is to save your time. Okay, uh, highlighted this command, and then you can see here execute selection do is do file. So when you click on it, you can see that you have actually run it. You have actually run it in your stata software. So the review for your command is coming from do file. Okay, you can see you are not typing in your command box, but you are running it from the do file. But you will see the summary of your the red variable. Okay, so observation is you have 19 observation, and the means for the red variable is this, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Okay, so this is the summary for your variable. And you can also do for what? For the green or blue. Okay, so in this case, let me copy and paste because in the do file it's just red. So paste here. Instead of red, maybe I want to what? Do for the white. Oh no, white is just 0 and 1. Maybe for green. Okay, so the problem is if sometimes when people are used to with this data, they don't really type all the variable in the commands. Okay, so in this case, let me put it here red. So you just click this variable on the right side. Okay, for instance, yellow. Click on it and then enter. So it will appear quickly. Okay, so you can do many ways. Okay, so you can also have summary and then you have D. D is for percentage. Okay, let me just run it from my do file. Okay, you can see the difference. Okay, so they give you in terms of percentile. Okay, sometimes you want to see the smallest four numbers, percent, or the middle percents, or the largest 4%. Okay, so this is just the command that you want to use. Okay, so you may not use it in the assignment, but just for your information. Okay, now you want to drop your variable. Okay, so this is my notes. So the command is drop, and then you can put any names of the variable. So in this case, let's see. I want to drop red. Okay, so just execute this, or you can do whatever. So let me just execute. Okay, so you will never see the red variable anymore. Okay, now you cannot see your red variable on the tops of the right side. Okay, because you have dropped the red. If you want to drop all variable, you just have to type clear in the command box. Okay, so if I click clear, you cannot see this variable anymore. Everything will be clear. Okay, so let's start with clear. What happened? Okay, well, you will miss all the information. Okay, this is just for information. Later on, if let's say you are dealing with secondary data, if you don't like them anymore, you can just clear everything. So you will see empty data from edit mode. So you want to change? No. So you will never see that your data in the stata file. Okay, so I will not click clear, or else everything will be gone. Okay, so now, oh, I have dropped my red. So let's delete this. Save? No, don't save. Okay, because I have deleted my red variable. Okay, so let me check. Okay, your red variable is still here. Cool. Where is the do file? Okay. Okay. So now, in your assignment later on, you may want to use regression. Okay. And if you are from economic bachelor degree or degree, you may familiar with regression, right? So in stata, we have the command, which is reg, the shortcut form for regression. Okay, so if you want to regress this variable, for instance, red, blue, greens, and yellow, so you can just type here, reg. So you have your variable here. Instead of typing everything, so you can just click red, blue, green, yellow. So you can just click on the right side, the top right side. Okay, or you can, if let's say you have created your do file, you can just execute from your do file. And then the next step is enter. Okay, why do you look something like this? Because it is very, I make it smaller. So let me make it bigger so that you can see a better view. So let me enter it. Okay, so this one. So this one is actually your command. So whatever you have commanded the stata to do anything, to perform something, so they will show you in the output box. Okay, so this is your command, and this is all your result. Okay, so previously, because I make it very small, so they split it into a few small thing. So you have to somehow enlarge it so that you can see a better look. Okay, so maybe somewhere here. Okay, so you can see that here, well, they give you some description. Okay, the residual, you may not want to see this, some squared, degree of freedom, mean squared, whatever. You may not want to see this. Your concern is, for normally when you want to regress something, your concern is on the coefficient. So this is your coefficient for blue, green, yellow, and this is the constant value. This is the standard error, okay? And this is your t statistic value, and this is your PV, okay, probability. and this is the number of observation. Okay, and then your r square is here. If you are using e-views, the r square is at the bottom, but here the r square is on top. And if you are comparing with two models, two equations, you may want to use adjusted r square instead of r square. Okay, so they also give you the interval. Okay, you may not want to look at it. The 95% coefficient level of confidence, you may not want to look at it. That's fine. Okay, so this is the result of your regression. So it's very simple. Just write reg, R-E-G, and put the variable that you want to regress. Okay, so the first variable, which is red here, is your dependent variable. So remember, the first variable is always the dependent variable, and the remaining is independent variable. Okay, cool. Okay, clear? So far, so good?
Yes, bro.
So far, okay. I'm afraid that everyone is doing something else, preparing for your breaking fast. Okay, so in regression, so I hope that you are familiar with robust. Sometimes people just don't want to perform just didn't want to test their assumption. So they want their life to be simpler. So they use robust regression. Okay, so if in stata, if you want to do robust regression, just put R at the last one. Okay, so in this case here, okay, so if I click on this left side, so it will appear in my command. So just write comma and then R. So R is representing robust and click enter. So your result here is the robust result for regression. Okay, so that's the command. Okay, you also know that for regression, you have a few assumptions that you have to test, right? Okay, so the instruction here is that you have, when you want to test the assumption, you have to run all these commands of assumption after you have run the equation, after you have run this linear regression equation. If let's say you have run the robust regression and then you want to run the assumption test, it will fail, because if you have done the robust, there is no way, no purpose of you to do the assumption test. Okay, in this case, you can see that the last test that we have done is robust, right? Okay, so if let's say I want to run the first assumption, so I click head test and I put execute. There is no way that you can do it because you have done the robust regression. But just let's try it. Okay, I execute. See, head test not appropriate after robust cluster. Means that when you have clicked the robust, you cannot do any assumption test. So normally when you want to do assumption test, you don't have to do the robust test. Okay, so let's click the first equation, which is the first regression without the robust. So enter. This is our original result. Okay, so what is the assumption for regression? So definitely you are assuming that you have homogeneity or you don't have heterogeneity issue. Okay, so your result shouldn't be significant, should not be significant because you're hash null. So I'm assuming that you know what is hash null, what is hash one. So because your hash null here is the variance of the residual is homogeneous. So in regression, we are assuming that our variance of residuals should be homogeneous. So here the hash null is the variance is homogeneous. So you are expecting that your result should not be significant. If it is significant, means that the residual variance is not homogeneous. It is heterogeneous. Okay, so let's try to perform this. Okay, so to make my life easy, I just execute it from my do file. See? So you can see that you are using Bruce Pagan. So this is your homogeneous test or heterogeneity test. Okay, so you can see that your PV is not significant. Means that you have homogeneous variance, residual variance. Which means that, well, this is good. If let's say you have a heterogeneity issue, then you have to change your equation to fix for it, to fix for your heterogeneity issue. Okay, so you also have to test for multicollinearity. So I'm not expecting that I have to explain what are they to you, because you have done this in your econometric. Okay, so the purpose of this workshop just to tell you how to run them, how to execute them. Okay, so the short form for multi-core is VIF. So if you click on this VIF in the command box, or if let's say you have created your do file, just execute it. So you can see the result here. Remember, for multicollinearity, the VIF should be lesser than 4. 4 means that you have a serious multicollinearity issue. So in this case, the yellow is well below than 4, which means that you are free from multi-core problem. Okay? So next, you also have to test for specification error. Okay? So you want to make sure that your equation is free from specification error. Okay. So let me see. There is a note here. It says that your head square. So when you run this test, you will see head square. Okay, your head square should not be significant because the hash null here is the model is correctly specified. If let's say your hash squared is significant, means that your model is not correctly specified. Okay, so what is the commands? Link test. Okay, so just execute it. So where is the head square? So you can see, remember you have two boxes. The first box is just the summary of what you are about your data. The second box is the result. So you have head, you have constant coefficient, and this is the head squared. You want to see the p-value for head squared. Remember, it should not be significant. So the p-value is 0.5. So it is not significant. So what is the value for significant p-value? What is the value for significant? Because I'm afraid that I'm telling this is not significant, this is significant, and you don't know what is the value. So tell me, what is the significant value for p-value? PV. Hmm? Anyone? Do you know what is the value for your PV when it is significant? Ah, this is a question.
Sorry, madam, I don't know what's this because this app I first see this one.
Okay. This is just your econometric. So let me tell you. Okay, since it is recorded. Okay, I can just write it, but it will take some time for me to set up my marker because now it's 6:45. Let me just tell you. If let's say your p-value, okay, PV, which is this part, this is this one. When your PV is like 0.01, 1%, it is significant, or 5%, 0.05, means that your result is significant. But if let's say your value is 0.1, 0.77, okay, so the minimum value for significance is 5%, 0.05. Bigger than that, your result is not significant. So currently, you have 77%, 52%. It is bigger than 5%. Okay, only 5% is significant. Is considered as significant in significant in econometric. So 5% and below. So if let's say you've got 2%, it is significant because the minimum is 5% and below. Okay. So here your head test is 52%. Okay, so it is not significant. So we can say that you don't have what? Your model is correctly specified, or you can say that you are free from specification error. Okay, so you also have to test for Ramsey reset. Okay, so what is this? This is you have learned this in your econometric knowledge. So the notes here, it says that your hash null model has no omitted variable. Okay, so the hash null says you don't have omitted variable. So your result should not be significant. If it is significant, means that your model has omitted variable. Okay, so omitted variable means that significant variable that you have omitted it. Okay, you don't want that. You want your model has all the significant variable to be estimated. So how to test the Ramsey reset? So you have to click off test. Okay, so I just execute it. You can see here. So remember, the value should not be significant. So 0.2594. So your PV is not significant because it is 25% or 26%. To be significant, it should be 5% and below. Now it's 25, so result is not significant. Means that you have fulfilled this. Oh, Ramsey reset tell you that your model has no omitted variable. Okay? So you also have to check for normality test. Normality, yeah. So yeah, this is one of the assumption for regression. So there are many ways to test for normality. So what is normality? What is normality? Anyone? Oh, I think it's hard to explain something without showing, writing anything on the whiteboard. Or else you may get confused, even though I didn't want to write it just to make it quick. Okay, I have to really write something. Where is my marker? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. So let me put it here. So normality is something that you have learned in um, what? Econometric. So when we said that the data is normal, so it should look like this. Oh, it doesn't look nice. It should look like this. Okay. So the left side and the right side should have a mirror image. Means that they are equal to each other. It is not like this. It should be something nicer. Okay. So you want your data to look like normal. So you have to test for normality. Okay. So what is the test? So there are many tests. Where is it? Why? Okay. Okay. So you can use dot plot. Okay, in this case, I just want to test the normality for red variable. You can do for many other variables, like for blue, green, and so on. You can use dot plot, or you can use graph, box. You can use histogram, or Shapiro wheel. You can also use Skewness and courtesy test. So there are many types of tests for checking your normality. As long as your data look like normal, look like a bell curve shape, so it fulfills the normality test. Okay. So let's see this dot plot. How does it look like? Let me just execute. Basically, you can just type this in your command box to make our life easy. Since I have created it, let me just execute this command. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, well, you can see that your red data starting from 0.2 until 1. So as if like the data is from this side, the left side. You have to somehow turn your head into the left. So it's hard to look at it. Okay, and the horizontal one is the frequency. So it's hard for me to see it. I'm not sure about you. Okay, so you can also use a graph box. So let me try to execute. How does it look like? Okay, so you can see that many of your data are scattered in the middle. So from 2 until, not really until 1, until maybe 7. Okay, so can you tell that your data is what? Is normal? You are not sure. Okay, it looks like normal because for normal, the largest value should be in the middle to have a bell curve. Okay, So you can also test for Shapiro. Where is it? Oh, histogram perhaps. Let me click the histogram. So it looks like this. Is it normal? If you want to draw a normal curve, well, you are maybe not sure. It may look like normal, but all the data are scattered in the middle. So perhaps let's try the Shapiro wheel. Okay, so let me just execute this. So it says that, okay, okay, so where is it? Did I put, okay, make it bigger. So for Shapiro, you have the nodes. The hash null is normally distributed. Okay, so you should not get a significant result. If let's say your result is significant, basically you reject your hash null. Okay, so it is not normally distributed. So your hash null is normally distributed, so we are expecting to get the non-significant result. So where is it? PV. Oh, the PV is not significant, which is good. Means that our data is normal. Okay, so you can use Shapiro because you can see it clearly, or you can also use this Skewness and Kurtosis test. Okay, so it says that the hash null is normally distributed, so you don't want your result to be significant, right? If it is significant, you have to reject your hash null. So let me execute this. This is just for red variable. You can do for many other variables. Execute this. So I want my result, which is this is the probability to be not significant, so that it is normally distributed. Okay. So the result is not significant, which is good. Next, you want to compare your models. So in your assignment, definitely you are asked to find the best estimated model. So when you want to compare your model, whether which variable, so you are come out with many variable. So you want to check which model, which equation is the best. Okay. So let me, well, I need to really write something as well. Marker, please. Okay. So where is it? Okay. So perhaps your dependent variable is red. It's a functions of blue. What else? Green. Yellow. Okay. You think that this variable is a functions or will affect your red variable, but maybe red can also be affected or dependence on blue, green, yellow, or perhaps purple later on. So if you want to compare which equation is the best equation to actually explain your red variable, you have to use this estimate state. When you want to compare which model is the best model, okay? Because normally when you want to find factors that uh, affect other things that can explain the dependent variable. So you may deal with many independent variables. So you want to choose which independent variables that can actually explain well for your dependent variable. So let me just execute this. What happened? Huh. So you are given the AIC and BIC. For E-views, normally when you run the regression, you will look at the uh, value of AIC and SIC. Okay, but in this data, you are given AIC and BIC. Okay, so this is for one model. So you can also run for another model. So if you want to compare the model, you have to run the model first and then run the estimate state. You will be given the AIC and BIC. So how to choose? You have to choose the smallest value. Okay, so let me show it here. So in this case, so perhaps when you run the first model, this is the first model, the BIC and AIC is perhaps 0.1 and another one is 0.01, for instance. And then you run the second model. The BIC and SIC is 0.01 and 0.001. So if you want to compare between these two, you will choose the smallest value. The smallest value will give you the smallest error. So between this model 1 and model 2, Model 2 is the best. Okay, this is how you want to choose the model. Okay, so far so good. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we still have some more command. Okay. So if let's say you are dealing with logic or probit variable. So this is the case when you have a binary variable. Okay. So for logic and probit, normally you have binaries, whether 0 or 1. Right? Yes or no? True or false? When you have this kind of data, for what? For your dependent variable. Okay, this is for your dependent variable. If let's say 0 and 1 is your independent variable, you can use regression, uh, linear regression. But if let's say your dependent variable is binary, 0 and 1, you cannot use linear regression or LS. You have to use logic or probit. Okay, remember that. Okay, so here, the command for logic is just logic. Okay, so if you look at white is actually 0 and 1. How to check the value? Let me click on here. So this is white, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So when you have this kind of data, please use logic or probit. Okay, so and then you want to run white. What is your dependent variable? Remember, the first variable is your dependent variable. Okay, so white. So this is your independent variable. Why do I put I? So I here I said actually, if let's say you have a level of data. What do I mean by level? Let me look at this data. So for purple, you can have many. But for instance, when you talk about the income level, so the income level you can have low income level, medium income level, higher income level. When you talk about size, small, medium, and large. So in this case, I just write 1, 2, and 3. So when you have a level data, so you can write I dot. Okay, it will give you the result. So the conventional or traditional way to deal with this level data, normally people will write it this way. So let me write it in my board. Oh my god, my board is has full. Painting. Uh, well, it's hard to explain without the board, right? Okay. So for the level data, okay, let's say we are talking about small, medium, medium, and large. So the conventional way, you will put here 0 if it is not small, and 1 it is small, and medium 0 if it is not medium, and 1 if it is medium, and 0 if it is not large, or 1 if it is large. So you have to create 3 different columns, which is 1 column for small, 1 column for medium, 1 column for large. Okay, so it will somehow well, wasting time. So in this case, you don't have to. Okay, so you can just write, okay, 1 for small, 2 for medium, and 3 for large. And how to run it? You just put I and dot and the variable. You will see the result. Let's just perform this. Let's just execute this, and you will see what happened. Okay, so where is it? Huh. So you can see it here. So they will give you, for purple, you have 1, 2, 3, but they will just give you 2 and 3. Where is the 1? Okay, for your information, 1 is the base. Not B-E-S-T, but B-A-S-E. The base means that something that you want to compare to. Okay? So, for instance, here, number 2. So, you are comparing the value of 2 with 1. If you are talking about number 3, you are comparing 3 with 1. So, the result tells you that you are, whatever you get here, you are comparing it with your base. Okay. This is how you want to interpret the variable that has different level. Okay, but for your information, so this is the case of logit, right? So for your information, if you want to run for logit, whatever you got here is just the coefficient. But normally, we will look at the margin. So you have to run the margin. So this is the margin. Okay, so I just execute it. Okay, so you have to take the coefficients of the margin instead of just this coefficient when you want to report the result. Okay, people will look at the margin, which is partial derivative of the variable dy over dx. Okay, so you have to take this value to report in your equation. So now you can see the p-value. Okay, so this is the case of logit. If let's say you want to run for probit, well, the same thing. Let me just copy and paste, but this is logit, right? I'll change it into probit. Probit. So it will give you the result for probit. Okay, so normally people will choose which result will give them more significant uh, value or result, or which one will give you the variable that has more significant result. Okay, so it's up to you. You can use logit or probit. Sometimes the result may be slightly different. Okay, okay, we're almost there. Now it's 7:03. So cross tab. Um, okay, so this is just if you want to check the relationship between two variables, you want to see whether age and gender is affected to each other. So this is just the cross tab, and this is the uh, command. Okay, so the star here is my notes, and the command is the one in the blue. That's not Azan. The command in the blue written. Okay, so you also have to sample t-test if you want to, but in your assignments, you don't have to perform all this. But I just put it here so that you can see it. And if let's say you want to check for correlation test, so you can click this command, pwcore. Okay, this is just the command words for correlation test. Okay, so this is your do file. Okay, so you can always use or create new notes in order for you to help you to make your life easier. Okay, so now let's discuss our assignment in brief. Where is it? Okay, this is your assignment on hedonic price. Okay, so the first one, you have to prepare a very short report, less than one page, or perhaps like less than 5 pages. Well, normally it's very short. Some of my students can just submit it in 2 pages or 1.5 pages. The shorter the better, as long as all the information are there. Sometimes many students love to give so many pages, but nothing in that point. There is nothing important. Okay, the first thing that you have to do, you have to describe your data. So basically, okay, where is it? HP. Okay, because people are reading Quran, so I'm still like looking at the time. Okay, we almost finish our class. So, okay, so when you download your HP hedonic price data, you will see this, your data of housing price. Okay, you have time, size, and so on. So there are a lot of variables. That's why you should know you should be able to find the best equation or the best model to estimate your data. Okay, so you are given so many variables. So which variable is the most significant one? Okay, so here you can see that, well, there are some descriptive statistics to explain your data. And we also have learned, what is it to, I forgot the command just now. Where is it? Do file. You also have learned summarize. So it will summarize your data, right? So please apply whatever we have learned in this workshop to answer your assignment. Okay? So these are actually the descriptive statistic of your housing price data. You have continuous variable as well as dummy variables, or yeah, binary. Okay? And then the second one, you have to report the model that you have found to provide the best fit to explain the dependent variable. So in this case, you have to find one equation, one model that is the best one that you can find to estimate your variable, your dependent variable. That's why you have to compare all the variable that you have picked. Okay, next one. Let's make it quick. Okay, next one is um you have to explain the step taken. Okay, when you want to estimate, definitely, well, what should you do? You have to find the variable. Well, you have to try and error. Perhaps blue is a function of red, yellow, and so on. Or you can try the next equation. Blue is a function of green or whatsoever. And then try again. Okay, once you have tried, so you have to tell the steps. What are the steps that you have taken to estimate, to find the best fit of the model? And then you have also to tell the tests that you have applied to estimate your preferred model. What are the tests? Remember, regression has some assumption. So you have to test all the assumption. Normality, you have to test for heterogeneity, multicollinearity, and so on. That's why we have learned the workshop, right? Okay. And then number 4, you have to provide an estimate of the relevant non-market value. Okay. So in your equation, you have to have one variable to represent the non-market variable. Okay. So you are given all variable, time, size, and basically this variable is explained here. What do they mean? Okay, what do they mean? So the price P, right? Price is actually the real. So R here is the real sales price. So whatever you see the shortcut here are actually explained in the next sheet. Okay, so in all this data, in all these variables, there must be some variable that capture, that can explain your non-marketed good or environmental good. Okay, so you have to make sure that in your model you have some variable to explain, to represent the environmental good or non-marketed good. Okay, so the variable should be there, and you also have to give your interpretations of the estimates. How to interpret it? Remember, partial derivative of the variable. Okay, so partial derivative of the environmental variable will give you the interpretations or estimations of that variable. Okay, if you forgot what I'm talking about, please refer to your notes or the video. And the last one indicates any caveats. So what is caveats? Caveat is actually the shortcoming or the problem you wish to append to estimate, to your estimates, and make suggestions for improving the valuation exercises. So you have to tell me what are problems that you face to get a best estimation. Perhaps you can get a best estimations of the variable, but because of this problem, it somehow affect your estimation. Okay, you have to tell what are the problems that you may face in order for you to find the base estimates of the equation. And you should also give suggestion how to improve your model or your valuation. Okay, wow, I'm trying to make it very fast and short. uh, so now it's 7:10. Any question before we end our class? Any question from the floor or audience, or perhaps everyone is already in the kitchen?
Madam,
Yeah.
it's about the stata software. How to download it because I found it and couldn't.
Let me stop recording first.